The Manila Times. Lights, camera, Boto, the chat show edition.
Rise and shine mga ka-voters, it's a beautiful morning full of hope for the future. Ito po si Tessa Mauricio Ariola, welcome you to the Manila Times Lights, Camera, Boto, the chat show edition. As you know, we've taken a break from our usual showbiz and lifestyle programs for the time being in order to help one another make the right choices in May's crucial national elections. But all the same, you know you can count on the fun and upbeat vibe you've come to enjoy in our shows. Because in spotlighting, not just the personalities, but the platform of Halalan 2022's candidates, we do and can promise you that this is where entertainment leads to empowerment. Handa na ba kayo mga ka-voters? Let's get started right now.
The Manila Times. Lights, camera, Boto, the chat show edition.
Before I introduce this morning's guest on LCD, pag-usapan muna natin once and for all kung ano nga ba ang mga party lists. In the course of our special election series, ilang party list nominees din ang ating makakausap, so it really makes sense, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga first-time ka-voters na alamin kung saan makakatulong ang ating mga boto. The Commission on Election says that the purpose of the party list system is to include proportional representation in the election of representatives to the lower house of Congress from national, regional, and sectoral organizations. In other words, ang pagkakaroon ng party list sa Kamara ay para mabigyan ang single issue or smaller but significant advocacy groups ng magkaboses sa lawmaking process ng ating bansa. Unless you happen to be an advocate of a particular cause ng registered party lists running for a seat ngayong May 2022, ang magandang piliin na party list ay yung grupo na may malinaw na objective para sa totoong marginalized population ng bansa. Ang boto nyo ay tulong sa underrepresented groups na ito tulad ng differently abled, mga farmers sa ating mga probinsya at senior citizens and so on. So with that mga ka-voters, we bring to you today ang isang baguhang party list na pangalan pa lang nakaka-intriga na. At syempre, the group's first nominee herself, yes, we have a lovely lady with us on the show today, is here to tell us why we should support the goals of an underrepresented group in Philippine society she defines as Barkadahan. Mga ka-voters, kilalanin at kilatisin kung karapat-dapat bang makapasok ang party list ni Ms. Ren Pasco sa Kongreso. Dito sa Lights, Camera, Boto. Hi Ren! Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Miss Tessa. How are you? How are you guys?
I'm very good, thank you. It's great to see you on a wonderful morning, and it's always, sabi nga nila, every new morning, new hope, and new party list, new hope din, I'm sure.
Pick for your biopic.
Because we come from the entertainment section of the Manila Times, we just like to ask you, if your life would become a movie, pag nagka-biopic ka, sinong artista sa tingin mo would be perfect to play you?
International or ano natin, kababayan natin?
Any. If you think there's an international artista, ha?
Angelina Jolie.
Wow! Okay. Why do you say Angelina?
You know, just like her, no? She's very classy, but at the same time, she looks very athletic. And ako, personally, I'm a very athletic person. I love sports. But at the same time, I love dressing up, you know, sometimes.
Kilalanin.
Let's begin with getting to know you, no? What do you think are the most important things muna before we go to the party list to know about Ren Pasco?
Okay. To know about me, first, I am a wife, a mother of two. I am very much into sports. In fact, one of my businesses is a gym. I also coach CrossFit, and I love teaching kids. What else? I graduated from De La Salle University with a bachelor's degree in political science, and I'm currently taking up management development program in the Asian Institute of Management, and I'm about to graduate this week. And I'm finishing my master's degree in political science in De La Salle as well. So I'm working on my thesis. It's such a difficult task, but I'm trying to find time to finish it.
Well, early congratulations. Early congratulations on that. And we have to say, especially because you said you're a mother of two, a businesswoman, and now you're doing your thesis, and yet, campaigning, because of course the yung pwede na magkampanya pag national, 'di ba? And party lists fall under that. So wow, 'di ba? You must be very good at time management. Kasi multi-hyphenate ka. Ikaw yung tinatawag na multi-hyphenate. And you said that you're a political science graduate from De La Salle University. Ang dami mong options, no? Maybe the political science kind of tells you, oh, maybe she did plan to probably go into politics or government work someday. Pero yung iba, CrossFit training, diba? Parang everything is just really, really so varied ang interests mo, no? So, what made you want to, run for public office?
Prior to taking up political science, when I was in grade school and when I entered high school, I really wanted to be a doctor. I want to be able to cure sick people. I wanted to be a surgeon, in fact. But then when I entered second year high school, my dad received a grant in Australia for his MBA. And so us, the kids, also my sisters, we received the scholarship grant as well. So everything's paid for. So we went there. And I guess the nag-start, because that was my first time to stay in a different country for a long time. I studied there and I was able to see, they have really good educational system, healthcare, and the most striking part talaga for me is that I saw that their workers, yung kanilang mga drivers, bus drivers, train drivers, garbage collectors, parang they have a chance at really good life and future. In fact, they're able to provide shelter, house, diba, for their family, provide food. Their kids go to school, a bit public, diba? But ang ganda ng public educational system nila. It's like private here. That's why most of the families there, parang they'd rather send their kids to a public school than private because it's very expensive and same lang yung quality of education. And everything's paid for, even their uniforms, the books. So when I went back here, pagbalik namin dito ng family ko, parang that really placed a mark in my heart na bakit hindi pwede sa Pilipinas? Bakit doon pwede? Yes, they're a first world country, we are a third world country, but I guess pag gusto may paraan, sabi nga sa atin, diba? Pwede naman gawin kung ano yung nagagawa doon sa kanila. And so I went back here. I was about to take my enter third year high school. Pagpasok ko ng third year high school, since I graduated from San Beda, Alabang, meron kaming career tracking. And since I wanted to be a doctor, I applied for the medical science block or yung section so that I'll be prepared na once I enter college. Nung after third year high school, when we were about to choose yung mga universities and courses, when I was about to apply in UP, Ateneo, and La Salle, I parang all of a sudden, parang I changed my mind na what if I take political science and know more about how government works, yung mga power struggles and how to solve yung very basic problems such as poverty, corruption. So I took political science and I passed in De La Salle. In UP, I took biochemistry and I didn't want it. So I guess that was God's plan. Maybe,
Science.
I don't know.
Diba? Parang nagka-sign.
God in mysterious ways, sabi nga. But then I took political science because I felt like I really wanted to be part of government. But here's the clincher. hindi kami political family. I didn't come from a political family. So when I graduated political science, I was like, wala yata akong chance, no, to be a public servant, no, to be a government official. And so sabi ko, yeah, maybe I can just work for politicians, no? That way I can also serve my country. That way I can serve my kababayans.
So right after college, did you go into social civic work pa rin? Or medyo nag-business ka muna? I mean, nagtuloy-tuloy ba talaga yung parang, you know, that feeling that you need to help?
No, actually, even before I graduated from De La Salle, no, I was hired na to work for a consultancy firm in Makati. It's a business and political consultancy firm, and there I did research, more on political databases and all. And na bore ako because I think office work is not for me. I really want to be out there, may action talaga. So I joined another consultancy firm, no, na more sa ground, no, implementation of programs and projects, no. So we were working with the local government unit of Taguig. So doon lalo nag-spark yung flame ko for public service because we were able to work with government officials, no, down to the barangay level. We were able to implement programs and projects. No, we were able to work on a database wherein you'll know ano yung exactly na kailangan ng mga tao per household. And so yun yung naging basis ng programs of the city. Doon namin nalaman, no, sa isang bahay ilan ang may kailangan ng medisina, no, for hypertension, for diabetes, for asthma. Nakita namin, no, ano yung saan barangay, ano yung bahay mismo na may PWD, may senior citizen. So it's all the services doon nag-base sa database na yon. Yun yung naging basehan sa pagdidistribute and even yung pag-purchase ng mga goods para ipamigay sa mga households. Per household ito, ha, and not per barangay. So it was the most fulfilling job I've done. And also, doon ko nakilala ang aking love of my life.
O yan, sa love story na tayo. Pwede yan, kahit we're talking about your campaign, we'll talk about the love story because showbiz naman tayo here. Type namin yan. So you are both into social civic work? You're both ano talaga? Out there to make a difference. Oh, okay.
Lawyer.
Let's give it a name.
He's Attorney Ren Pasco.
Okay.
So he works for the city of Taguig also until now. But yeah, after we got married, because we had 2 kids, I've devoted my time for them. I always joke nga around and tell everyone, I'm a full-time wife and mom, part-time everything else.
Yes.
So that's been my life since I got married.
But you make it work. And that's great. How old are the kids? I mean, are they at the stage ngayon na medyo kaya na nila naman? Like if mom needs to go to Congress, if ever you win.
Yes. They're very responsible kids. My daughter, the eldest is 9. And the other one, my boy is 7. Mm-hmm. So they're very responsible, very disciplined kids. They do well in school, very advanced also. So I guess God has prepared me for this. That's the only thing. Later on, I probably can talk more about it. But I guess this path that I'm going to take, this journey, I think it was really all prepared for by God. So yeah,
let's go into that already. Kasi from college, you got married, had children. Public service has always really been in you since you've witnessed kung ano ang pwedeng magawa rin naman ng bansa for their citizens when you were in Australia, no? So fast forward na natin because clearly, you were working in Taguig. I would have thought maybe, I don't know if that's where you live, but maybe you would have joined muna the local government. Yet you are in a party list now. So, paano naman nangyari yon from having worked with an LGU and then all of a sudden, Barkadahan showed up?
Yeah, exactly. Yan din yung question ko because I didn't ask for this. Talagang I was even shocked. Diba, I mentioned kanina as enrolled in the Asian Institute of Management. So biglang nagkaroon ng ganito, so I had to juggle work, the campaign, and then my school. It was a surprise. Actually, it was a surprise. It was my dad was supposed to be the first nominee of Barkadahan Party-List because he was part of the founding members of the organization. It's been formed in 1995. My dad's a soldier, so it was formed by soldiers para sa kanilang mga kapwa sundalo, para sa pamilya ng mga sundalo, mga anak ng mga sundalo. And so they also recruited students to help them, that time in 1995 pa. And then, it was my dad who was supposed to be first nominee, but he said na he's old na and he wanted to retire. So sabi niya, anak, ikaw na lang. Kasi total, ito naman yung matagal mo nang gusto, I would always joke, sa bahay, even before pa, sabi ko sa dad ko, sa mom ko, hindi kasi tayo pamilya ng politiko, wala talaga akong chance at public service. So ngayon, parang binabalik ng dad ko sa akin yan na, hey, di ba, you've always wanted this and it's here. Go take it and continue the legacy of the organization and yung mga reforms na gusto nila for the country before. My dad's a very idealistic man. The truth is, kahit hindi kami political family, I grew up realizing and knowing the value of serving the country and our mga kababayans, our countrymen. So, lumaki talaga kami knowing that value of service. Even my mom's very much into community service. She's the charter president of our Rotary Club. Parang doon talaga kami nag-gear towards, helping other people.
Yeah, I read nga that you had a project in Rotary that was, very, very significant. So the Rotary Club of Alabang, Daang Hari, and you had a birthday project. Now, I think Ren is actually in the title somewhere. Can you tell us a little bit about that, just so people will get to know what kind of outreach activities, programs you've spearheaded?
Ever since everything that I do, diba, in everything that we do, we always have a guiding star. Na yun yung tinitingnan natin. That's our vision. Yun yung tinitingnan natin. Yun yung gusto natin ma-achieve. And I guess in everything that I've done so far in my life, I've always wanted to change people's lives. Even in CrossFit, even in in all the organizations that I work with and help. I always want to be able to change lives, and that includes the kids. Even before being a mom, I've always believed in the importance of making sure that you make talagang tututukan natin yung formative years, yun nga yung tinatawag na formative years of our kids, of children, that's 0 to 8 years old. Because it's the time na they're like sponges, everything that you say, everything that you teach them will really talagang naka-embed. Yes, naka-embed mind, heart. And so, sabi ko, just like in other countries, they have book drives, diba? They have book drives, they donate books. So, naisip ko, I asked my friends, hey, do you guys have books for kids? Baka you have younger siblings and you're not using the books anymore. Baka you can donate because I want to be able to originally donate only. And then, naisip ko na maybe I can interact with the kids also because since it's my birthday, magpapakain ako and all. So we did this, the very first one, we did it in my parents' hometown in Lopez, Quezon. And parang daycare center hopping kami. So not just in one daycare center, So we provided snacks. So it's read, empower, nurture. First and foremost, read. Yes, very important yung literacy, And comparing our literacy rate, talagang naiiwanan tayo. And why? Because in our daycare centers, no, talking about formative years, hindi natin natututukan yung pagbabasa. And it's very important kasi dyan nila una na-recognize yung letters, no, the 3-letter words when they start reading. So pagdating ng iba, no, from daycare center, pagdating sa elementary, mahirapan sila magbasa. Naisip namin, no, na we can read, no, books to the kids, no, during that span of time, and empower. No, empower naman, there are two sides of it, of course, no. May mga daycare center teachers tayo. And, you know, after that project, no, na nagtuloy-tuloy yung project namin, nakita namin, no, sa pagkausap namin sa mga daycare center teachers natin, no, they really feel na walang tumutulong sa kanila or pahirapan, no. Yung na-witness namin sa pag-ikat namin sa daycare centers, no, yung hindi conducive yung learning environment for the kids. And the daycare center teachers, makikita mo yung desperation nila na sira-sira yung upuan nila ng mga bata, yung tables. So sometimes they sit down sa floor and kulang-kulang yung materials. So parang that way, when we did the project, they felt empowered kasi they felt na someone's ready or a group is ready to help and support them, their needs, no. Very passionate yung daycare center teachers natin. In fact, saludo talaga ako sa kanila kasi they do their job yung beyond, no, yung what's expected, no, of them.
They don't have resources, di ba?
Yeah.
Parang they really can only do so much, no? So,
Yes.
saludo tayo sa kanila, yes. And nurture, the last, no? REN, nurture.
Yes, naman, that's where yung feeding and then the vitamins, no, we distribute vitamins and we do the feeding program, teach them about good nutrition and hygiene, of course. So yun, so parang naging total, na siya, overall, na-address natin the physical, the mental, no, and the emotional as well. And then we teach them how to pray, of course.
Thank you for giving us like a, parang kahit na brief lang siya, holistic naman na, picture of who Ren Pasco is and where all of this, desire to serve the public is coming from. We will take a break. Before that, I will leave you a question. Para kay Ren, ano ang ibig sabihin ng barkadahan?
But before you answer that, Ms. Ren Pasco, first nominee of Barkadahan Party-List, LCB will pause for a break as we shine the spotlight on the all-important pledge of the party list to its sector and voters across the country.
Personalidad na, plataporma pa. The Manila Times. Lights, camera, Boto, the chat show edition.
We're back on Lights, Camera, Boto at bago natin kilatisin if Barkadahan Party-List is indeed the party list that deserves our vote, let's return to our hanging question. Ren, I left this question to you. Anong ibig sabihin ng barkadahan para sa'yo?
Barkadahan, no? Meron tayong negative na mga connotations about that word, barkada, no? I remember my parents would always, when I go home late, no? Puro ka na lang barkada. And we always hear that. Sa pamilyang Pilipino, we always hear that phrase, puro ka na lang barkada. But for me, no, when you talk about a barkada, it should be someone who listens, the first one to run to help you. In fact, in all the mga tragedies, aksidente, and all, when you call a kabarkada, no, he'd be there, she'd be there running to help, and I guess that's the most important characteristic that you should look for with a friend, no. And us public servants, we're not supposed to be nakakataas. We're supposed to be kapantay at kaibigan, yung they won't hesitate to come to you and ask for help. Or, diba, they won't hesitate to voice out their concerns and yung mga hinaing nila sa buhay.
Kilatisin.
Unang-una, what does Barkadahan Party-List stand for and what marginalized sector or sectors do you hope to specifically represent if you win a seat in Congress?
So for me, Barkadahan para sa bansa Party-List represents every Filipino. After this pandemic or during this pandemic, we've seen talaga the effect of lahat tayo na apektuhan. Our workers, those who have businesses, lahat. Mayaman, mahirap, na apektuhan tayong lahat. And so right now, we focused our agenda, para sa mga kahit employed, underemployed, and not employed, yung mga unemployed natin, mga kababayan. Kasi sa pag-ikot namin, yes, very much, kailangan nating tutukan yung trabaho at hanap buhay ng ating mga kababayan. Kasi ang daming nagsusumikap, pero hindi sapat. Hindi sapat para sa kanilang pamilya. Hindi sapat para makapakain yung pamilya nila 3 times a day. Hindi sapat para magkaroon sila ng sariling bahay or kahit makapagbayad ng renta ng bahay. Hindi sapat para mapag-aral nila yung mga anak nila. Ang mga Pilipino kasi masipag. Buong puso ko naniniwala dyan. Masipag, madiskarte, nagsusumikap talaga kahit sobrang hirap ng buhay. So, Barkadahan Party-List would want to represent those kahit employed pero araw-araw nagsusumikap kahit hindi pa rin kasya yung kinikita, those who are underemployed, and lalong-lalo na yung mga naghahanap, walang makuha na regular na trabaho at hanap buhay.
These are things also that a senator can do, congressman can probably do. Why the need to have a party list?
Since I talked about our unemployed, underemployed, and even our employed mga kababayans, it's really the workers. So we talk about workers here. Yes, because in a household, pag walang trabaho, walang hanap buhay si tatay, si nanay, diyan nagsisimula ang bawat problema sa pamilya. Now, may problema ka sa pamilya, diyan magsisimula ang problema mo sa community, sa pamayanan. And papunta yan sa problema na pangmalakihan, pambansa na. So we resolve that first, jobs, opportunity, and give chance to those who are wanting to start, yung mga maliliit na negosyo. The problem is kasi right now the only thing we can do is really give ayuda because it's hard, diba? It's hard to start livelihood programs. They can't even meet together, we can't gather them in a room. So it's really ayuda. But hanggang kailan kaya natin to give ayuda? Diba? We should be able to give opportunities, job opportunities, livelihood opportunities, and ito yung walang pinipili. So we talk about our workers because in every household, there's a worker there.
There has to be, diba? For them to live, no? To be able, lahat ng basic ng buhay, and you know, everything has a cost. Ganun nga talaga siya. So, when you get to Congress, ano yung mga specifics mo din na sa tingin mo you'll go for right away?
So we're going to champion our 5-point agenda. Number 1, of course, is maunlad na hanap buhay. So I was talking about, you know, creation of yung mga more livelihood programs for our kababayan, especially sa mga probinsya. You know, when we were going around the provinces, you know, we've seen different communities, may mga sarili-sarili silang livelihood programs, and we can adapt that, and we can spread that all throughout the country. No, we visited basket weavers, no, bag weavers, and they do it under the tree outside their homes together as a community. Ang ganda tingnan, and they earn from it. Although meron pa rin silang mga challenges na na-encounter, like, you know naman in our country, no, they always say the middleman would always earn, and not those who work hard for that product. So these are just some of the things that we want to address also when we talk about hanap buhay. No, next is maayos na trabaho. And you know, I guess yung fear ng workers natin every day is that bukas ba may trabaho pa ako? Diba? Kasi most of our workers hindi naman regular. They're contractual, even our construction workers, those who work in government na job orders, no? So we want to push for regularization of employees. Yung mabilis, hindi yung maghihintay sila ng matagal, and at the end of the day, wala. Diba? Nawalan pa rin sila ng trabaho. And of course, no, yung quality na edukasyong pangkabuhayan. Again, we go back to our livelihood programs. Kasi ang problema naman, quality, yes, we can work for that, but at the end of the day, there's always discrimination for our PWDs, for our senior citizens, who are still willing to work. Diba? So, pati yung ating mga LGBTQ, meron pa rin tayong discrimination. So, it should be open for all. So, quality, at syempre, no, open for everyone na edukasyong pangkabuhayan, yung livelihood programs natin. And then, talking about that, nasabi ko na rin yung equal opportunities for all. Pantay na oportunidad para sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan. So, in our focus na discussion with groups, different groups, marginalized sectors, talagang maririnig mo yung hinaing nila na hindi kasi pantay. Hindi pantay na ibibigay, no, ang mga serbisyo ng pamahalaan. So siguro we'll really work so much on that. We'll focus our energy on giving everyone a chance to start, no, trabaho, pangkabuhayan, or livelihood. And then lastly, no, our this is very important, no, sapat na sahod para sa ating mga workers. Because again, you go back, no, dahil hindi sapat yung kinikita, marami pa rin nagiging problema sa loob ng tahanan, no. Kulang pa rin yung pangkain, kulang pa rin yung pang-aral ng mga bata, pambili ng materyales, no, kulang pa rin yung pambayad ng renta or pambayad ng bahay. So, at yung pag nagkakasakit, no, yung COVID, nakita natin yung effect, no, na pag nagkasakit ka, either mababaon ka sa utang or lalo kang magkakasakit because hindi mo alam saan mo kukunin ang iyong pambayad. Napakamahal ng healthcare natin. And so, yon, those are the 5-point agenda, no, na we'll champion. We'll really give everything, all our effort and our time and energy to do those.
More specifically, Ren, what are the problems you think that need to be solved? Is it like taxes siguro na parang dapat pag small and medium enterprises yung or whatever, what do you think specifically should be done?
Yes. You know, we were talking to a group of tricycle drivers, yung ating mga kabarkada sa Toda, no? And isa lang talaga yung hinaing nila, no? So, they didn't really even talk about their families, no, their kids. They talked about how hard it is, no, na kulang yung kinikita nila, pero pataas ng pataas yung mga presyo ng bilihin, lalong-lalo na ng gasolina. So kulang ang suporta sa ating mga tricycle drivers, you know, and jeepney drivers, yung ating mga manggagawang Pilipino, kulang yung suporta para maibsan yung hirap, no? Ang liit na nga ng kita nila, ang liit ng sweldo, ang mahal pa ng gastusin nila lagi. So I guess, no, for tricycle drivers, for our TODA, no, how about we help them, no? We subsidize the gasoline, yun. And then the taxes, no? Kasi nga sabi nga nila dito, lugi yung regular na manggagawa kasi sila pa yung kailangan magbayad ng buwis palagi. Pero yung mga malalaking negosyo, minsan may tax exemptions pa sila and all, diba? They can't, our regular mga workers, no, laborers, they can't pay for lawyers, diba? That alone, they can't pay for lawyers and have their fix yung mga gusto nilang tax exemptions and all. So, hindi talaga fair and we really have to work on that.
Diba? Magandang balita yan mga ka-voters natin na mga ka-workers din. Lahat tayo nagtatrabaho, diba? And lahat naman tayo, isa lang gusto natin, mapaayos ang buhay ng ating mga pamilya. So, may barkada pala ho kayo ngayon, no? Na bago in Miss Ren Pasco. Nabigyan natin ng diba? Ng specifics, what you would be working at, no? Working for. But, you know, jobs kasi, no? That's such an interesting topic, I believe, especially here in the Philippines, where I believe so many people are so talented. Pag ikaw tinanong ko, anong mga trabaho sa tingin mo ang best na kayang gawin ng mga Pilipino? Because that's where government can come in, diba? Government can help na invite investors from other countries na idala dito yung whatever businesses they have. And we have to prove to them na ang Pilipino kaya yan.
Ako, yung talaga, very creative ang mga Pinoy. So arts, let's support the arts, no? Ang nagiging problema, no, yung mga artists natin dito, they're underpaid and parang hindi na-appreciate the talent that they give, the effort that they give. And to think, no, to be able to make a basket or a bag, diba? Susugatan yung kamay nila, naiinitan sila kapag kukuha sila ng raw materials kasi lahat yun yung ginagawa nila from raw materials hanggang sa finished product, sila lang yun lahat. So, napaka magaling talaga sa arts and crafts na ating mga kababayan. Second, no, nakita natin during the pandemic, yung mga FAs, nawala ng trabaho, yung mga sa offices, nagbawas ng mga employees. So, ang ginawa nila, kanyang-kanyang online business, right? Meron nag-enter into shoes. Diba? Papagawa sila from sustainable materials. Meron nag-enter na mga clothing line, no? Sustainable materials din. Ang dami natin makikita ngayon online. Let's support them. Let's support the industry, no? Yung arts natin, yung arts industry natin, and then the crafts and yung mga merchandise natin na sariling atin. Sabi ko nga,
local nga, diba? Let's give other people, other Filipinos rin naman a chance to shine. Right. There's so much talent in this country. That's so true. You keep on mentioning the pandemic na nalaman mo, na nakita mo. So, you have really been out in the last year and a half, Ren. Tell us about that experience at saang parte ka ng Pilipinas nakapunta?
Yes, meron ng Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Talagang umiikot talaga ako because when I accepted this job, no, I had to think about it for weeks. I had to cry and pray to God na, Lord, you help me if I should do this or not. Because wala talaga akong pinapasok na hindi ko gusto na I'm on top of everything and I'm in charge and I know what's happening. Kasi in business, no, I'm used to being like talagang micromanager. I really want to be able to be there all the time. And so in this journey, no, I really want to be able to be the one who hears, who sees, diba, experience yung mga pinagdadaanan ng mga kababayan natin. Yung mga na-experience ng mga coordinators of the other party list. Na-experience ko yung init, no? Naglalakad kami sa putikan, tumatawid kami sa mga tulay na maliliit. And the best part, I get to talk to everyone. I get to hear their stories. I get to see for myself and not just pictures or not just words from my coordinators. I get to have that experience. And I guess yun yung pinaka-importante. Because if you don't see the plight of our countrymen, if you don't see the plight of our mga kabarkada mo, paano mo siya matatranslate into laws na talagang sasagot dun sa pangangailangan nila? Kasi yun yung importante. Tsaka when you see it, I don't think wala sigurong puso na hindi madudurog at hindi maaapektuhan kung makikita natin yung pinagdadaanan ng mga kababayan natin.
Can you just tell us maybe a little story na talagang hindi mo makalimutan at siguro isang tao, whether or not pangalanan mo siya, na talagang pinangako mo na no matter how difficult it is tumakbo, because this isn't a simple thing, diba? Gaano kahirap, you will do your best kasi gusto mong mabalikan yung taong yon and say to that person that this is what I promised to do for you and here it is.
Yes. You know, we have this program na we've done this for months now. Alagang Barkadahan, no? So we go around and we help out people who are in need, families who are in need. And wala talaga akong ma-pinpoint na isa kasi lahat nagkaroon ng impact sa akin. Iba-iba yung storya nila, iba-iba yung kwento ng mga buhay nila, iba yung mga problema nila. Pero lahat talagang merong naging impact sa akin, no? Yung mga single moms, isipin mo yung mga single moms na 7 yung pinapakain nila, pinapaaral nila. Actually, iba hindi na nag-aaral. No, single moms, PWD, na gusto magtrabaho pero walang oportunidad dahil nga may kapansanan siya. Senior citizen na pinabayaan na ng pamilya, na siya na lang ang naghahanap buhay. Lahat sila, no? I think halos lahat ng pinuntahan namin ng Alagang Barkadahan, talagang lumuluha kaming lahat. Not just me, even my team. Talagang na-experience, nakita namin yung lungkot, yung desperasyon ng ating mga kababayan. Kaya even my team, no, na kasama ko palagi, no, one way or another, nagkaroon ng effect sa kanila itong ginawa namin the past few months. And sila lahat, they're very much driven to win these elections because they want to be able to help out as well. So that way, hindi lang ako yung affected, sila rin, and lahat kami may drive to do what's best for our country, for our countrymen.
Yun nga, whenever you recall the stories that you learned firsthand from our barkadas all across the country, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, you know, you're moved to tears. I just want to know, out of concern also for them naman, di ba, parang may hope pa bang mga kabarkada natin? Or kailangan mo ba talagang sabihan sila na, you know, there is still hope. There are still people who are gonna help you.
Yes, there is. And ako, I guess, me witnessing their situation, no? Me hearing their stories, ako, on my own, I'd really make sure that if I get there in Congress, I'd really make sure I give my all-out energy, my time, no, to make sure lahat ng nakausap namin, mababalikan namin para masabi namin, nagawa namin, bigyan ng paraan, bigyan ng solusyon yung mga problema na sinabi ninyo sa amin. So, ano yan at the end of the day, no, sabi nila in government, no, sometimes illness na that whoever goes into public service will be corrupt or won't do anything good. But ako, I believe in my heart, no, nasa tao pa rin siguro yan. And that's something that I've been praying for ever since, no, since I accepted the nomination. And even prior to that, no, weeks when I was praying to God, na I really asked the Lord na not to change, no, yung heart. Kasi that's the most important thing. That's a driving factor to be able to do well, to be able to be good, no, and to be able to serve, no, the heart. And I believe in my heart naman that there are still public servants who will do good, who will really help and reach out, and who will really serve with all honesty and integrity. I think that's the only thing that I learned from my dad. You have to live with integrity, you have to be honest, and you have to be disciplined. So those are the values that I live by until now. I guess I'll always be praying to the Lord to never change this heart.
Yes, you have to guard that. We will hope that you do guard that. Buti na lang nagko-crossfit ka and you actually flexible kasi alam ko yung resistance mo talagang top quality, 'di ba? It's always interesting to see, parang first time candidates because we know that it's not going to be easy, 'di ba? Campaign pa lang, the challenges of a campaign in a pandemic, added pa doon, and actually being in government and stealing your heart and making sure that sa araw-araw kung ano yung dala mo doon is still the mission that you are working for and pushing for. So your parting shot sa ating mga kabarkada para suportahan ang pagtakbo for Congress. Ren Pasco.
Kaya sa mga kabarkada, marami tayong pinagdaanan, mga nakaraang trahedya, ngayon at may pandemya, napakaraming pangangailangan ng mga kabarkada natin. Ngayon na may Barkadahan Party-List, meron na kayong maaasahan na magiging kakampi, yung mabilis kumilos, maagap umaksyon, at higit sa lahat, pinaka-importante po, yung may malasakit at pagmamahal para sa ating mga kababayan at sa kanilang mga pamilya. Paano ba maging tunay na kaibigan? Paano ba maging tunay na kabarkada? Marapat lamang na ating mga namumuno, kailangan inklusibo, maging kaibigan tayo sa ating mga kababayan, makikinig palagi, unang tatakbo para tumulong. At alam mo yun, laging handa para sumaklolo. Anumang oras, at walang pinipili. Hindi yung grupo lang na pabor para sa iyo, kaya doon lang sa mga kaibigan na kakilala mo. Hindi, sa ating barkadahan, lahat tayo magkakabarkada at kami very excited na makilala mula Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, ang mga iba pa nating kabarkada na nangangailangan ng tulong. Kaya maraming salamat sa ating mga taga-suporta, patuloy na nagmamahal sa ating barkadahan at sana mas dumami pa tayo at mas marami pa tayong matulungan. Maraming salamat sa aming mga kabarkada.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ren Pasco, the first nominee of Barkadahan Party-List, really out to redefine the word barkadahan. And we wish you luck. We hope that itong mga barkada mo na marami talagang, they hope for so much in their lives and for their families, makarating yung mga hinaing nila sa Congress. Good luck and good morning to you, Ren.
Nakilala at nakilatis na natin ang party list ng Barkadahan at ang kanilang first nominee na si Ren Pasco. Ang personalidad niya at plataporma ng kanyang grupo. Empowered by our episode of Lights, Camera, Boto, the choice is yours to make, mga ka-voters. Don't forget to get a copy of the Sunday Times magazine today to learn more about Barkadahan and its nominees led by our guest. Thank you to my Lights, Camera, Boto team led by our director and video editor, Neil Reyes, my girls Christina and Isa, our promotion staff, and of course, our LCAB Special Project Manager, Shirley Matias Pizarro. All that we do is for you, mga ka-voters. This is Tessa Mauricio Ariola, and see you next Sunday for the Manila Times Lights, Camera, Boto, where entertainment leads to empowerment. Maraming salamat po.
Hi mga ka-voters! If you haven't yet, do subscribe to the Manila Times YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the Manila Times and at TMTCSI. You may also log on to www.manilatimes.net to watch Lights, Camera, Boto.